Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I just had a client call and say, cancel my Princess cruises. Not just one, 3 Princess cruises booked over the next 18 months. And he says, basically, I'm never going to sail with them again. So we've all heard recently that Princess has changed some of their free options now. From the free room service you used to get, now you have to be part of Princess Plus or Princess Premier to get it. The Alfredo's is now going to be a charge restaurant, so you have to be Princess Plus again or Premier to have that casual dining option that used to be free. Now you're going to be charged. Not only that, even if you do all your paperwork and everything ahead of time, if you can't have your medallion sent to you, you pick it up at the port, you're always going to be in the blue lane. You're never going to be in the green lane. For instance, myself as a Canadian, they never mail anything to Canada, so you will be in the blue lane no matter what. Yet they're charging you if you are Premier Plus, Premier, and Princess Premier. They're charging you as if that's a free perk, but if they don't send it to you, then it's not a perk of having that class, right? So he got very frustrated when he looked at his cruises that he's already filled out all his paperwork and everything for, and his finances and everything, and everything's in there, and he saw that he's in the blue lane because of the medallion, and they want him to pay more money. That's right. So as it stands right now, if you booked your cruise before December 14th, 2022, so 7 months ago, right? 8 months ago, which most people, like when I set my groups up, normally I have about 18 months ahead of time, right? So any group I have going this year would not be included in this. We'd all be beforehand. For instance, our Caribbean Princess cruise coming up in September. Most people booked it last year, before this date. Well, that being said, Princess now, because they changed their rules, and if you want those things like being able to eat at Alfredo's without being charged each time you go in there, you have to now pay between $11 and $12 a day per person to upgrade to the next package. Well, my client says he's had enough. He's had enough of saying, look, I book my cruises early when they come out because they always tell you that's the best price and this is the way you should do it. And then they go and they change their entire policy and they don't honor your cruise. They just arbitrarily chose a date and said, anybody who booked it before then, we want you to pay us more money. Because now you're not going to get those perks. And I can't blame them for being upset. I can't blame them. Quite frankly, I'm calling Princess out on it myself. I think their whole thing that they've rolled it out this way absolutely stinks. It stinks to high heaven. If somebody books their cruise on December 1st, 2022, you're asking them to pay on a 10-day cruise another $200 and some for a couple. And if they would have waited 14 more days, they wouldn't have to pay that extra money. No, that's not the way things should work. Once people have paid for something, if you change what the package is, it should not matter. They've paid for that package. So if I've paid a year and a half ago for Princess Plus, whatever is now the Princess Plus, that should be what's included. Period. There should be no argument about it. And quite frankly, shame on Princess for not doing that. quite frankly, shame on them. And it has gotten some people very irate and very upset, and my client literally canceled about $18,000 worth of cruises and said, you know what? The hell with them. I'm never cruising with them again because of what they just did. He's drawing his line in the sand. And that can come from any cruise line, right? Now, in this particular case, it's Princess, because he's frustrated. He says, why am I going to end up paying another $600 and some more for something I already booked? Because they changed what it means. I've locked it in, I've paid for it, I should have it. And I agree. I totally agree. This should not be a thing. It should have been anybody who booked it before we started this new process. They started it August 2nd, so anything that was booked before August 2nd, it should be included. Automatically. You pay for a product, you should be getting it. Just because they decided to change what's in the package doesn't mean they didn't pay for that package. And guess what? If you wanted it to be something else, you should have changed the name of your packages. It shouldn't be Princess Plus and it shouldn't be Princess Premier. It should be Princess Extra and Princess Access, something like that. But you kept it the same name. Most of the things in it are exactly the same except for now what you're charging people for that you never charged before. And so he's had enough. He says, that's it, I'm not doing it. And a lot of people are getting that way with some cruise line. Remember when Norwegian decided to cancel a bunch of their shows on their cruise? On their cruises, from like 2 good Broadway shows on a cruise down to 1? Well, I've had clients call me and say, nope, cancel my Norwegian cruises now. I don't want to go. They're cutting back on what I enjoy on their ships. I'm going to find another cruise line to sail with. So cruise lines have to start thinking. They're in a good position right now because people want to get out, they want to travel, they have someplace, they need to get out there. But you don't take your core customers and basically just slap them in the face and say, yeah, you know, I know you paid for it and I know you already booked it and everything, but I know your cruise leaves next week, but because you booked it like a year and a half ago, we decide you need to pay us more money. We're telling you today that you owe us more money for your cruise next week that you booked a year and a half ago. It absolutely stinks to high heaven. And yeah, I just got awarded on my last trip to Mexico just before I had surgery. At my Travel Only Awards ceremony, the 2022 top producer for Princess in our company. That is the 3rd time I've won out of 3 times that we're allowed to win because of the pandemic. We were shut down, etc. So basically, I've been their top seller. And it's very frustrating to me when I have a product that I like and a cruise that I like and people who work on the ships that I love, and then corporate does something like this that really basically slaps you in the face and say, you know what, we just picked that arbitrary number out of the air, and that way all those people who booked last year in 2022 that we've now changed, give us some more money. Money. Forget about your loyalty. Give us some money. Unfortunately, there's not a lot else you can do other than go to another cruise line. And in this case, that client is doing exactly that. Well, sorry for this little rant, but it's very frustrating to me when cruise lines do stuff like this. I don't care which cruise line it is. When they change something in the middle of something and arbitrarily just pick a date out of the air, really frustrates me. Well, I hope you appreciate this information. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let's see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world and the odd rant once in a while. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.